Welcome to Lamont Dorsey's first ever YouTube class. Today's subject, how to chase away your subscribers like I'm about to do right now. Let's begin. If you are ever in a lucky position in life to be able to make a living off of uploading videos, which is the silliest thing that I can personally ever think of for someone to be able to make a living, but I'm doing it. So there's a couple rules in life when it comes to living that YouTube existence, and one of the main rules is do not piss off your subscriber base. Do not get people to unsubscribe from your YouTube channel, because if you do, that's basically like you're throwing money away or you're throwing it in the dumpster or what have you. Many of your favorite YouTubers out there, especially the ones that have millions of subscribers, they get to that level of fame and notoriety. A lot of you don't know how they get there. They don't, they get there partly because of dumb luck and partly because they get help from other people. And they don't say anything controversial. They don't say anything that could bring any kind of heat to their channel. They're doing brand sponsorships, endorsement deals. They don't want to piss off an advertiser. So they're going to be basically walking a straight line as much as they can. However, in today's video, I'm going to break the cardinal rule of getting people to keep subscribed to your channel, because I'm probably going to lose some subscribers after I tell you this story. So let's begin. I've gotten a couple emails throughout the years of me being on YouTube, and one of the emails that I get is, have you ever just randomly walked into a cemetery and knew somebody that was there? And so I'm going to answer that today. Yes, that happened at this cemetery about 3 years ago, and it's only ever happened to me once. And I did not know the person was dead. When my channel was starting to form, back in 2019, still figuring things out, I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anybody to give me advice. I just kind of went and did whatever I did. So I'm in this cemetery. It's 2020, and I'm not looking for anything. I don't believe I'm even doing a video. I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing right now, but not making a video, just kind of walking around and looking. And I look at a marker and I see a face, and I said, that face looks familiar. I look at the name, I said, oh my God, I knew this girl. So I met the girl that I seen back in 2012. Now, let me explain really quickly what was going on in my life at that time. I had just came back to Las Vegas. I was living in my van in Los Angeles for about 1.5 years. Went to jail for about a month, cleaned up some old stuff that I did when I was a kid, and I get back to Las Vegas. I had just, it's been a while now, but I had gotten out of a relationship that I was in Seattle, Washington. It was about I want to say at that time it was about 2 years ago, but it still kind of hurt because I loved that girl very, very much. Have you ever tried to say how much you love somebody and you just can't, the air in your chest cannot make enough force to expel out what you need to say? That's how I felt and continue to feel about this girl to this very day. So I get to Las Vegas and I said, all right, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I got a van, and I said, okay, we're going to flip a coin. Let me go see if my old job will hire me back. If they hire me back, I'll stay in Las Vegas, and then we'll just see where things go. If they don't hire me, I'm leaving. I don't know where I was going to go. I was just going to go east. So I went to my job where I used to drive a taxi, and I put in an application, and I didn't think they were going to hire me back, but they did. Cool. All right. So I'm a Las Vegas cab driver once again. So on one of my days off, I'm just bored. I'm cruising around on my scooter, and I stop at this bar. As a matter of fact, it's not very far from where I'm currently at right now. It's literally down the street. Like, I don't even think it's a mile. And I seen this girl at the bar. She was kind of cute, so I said, "Hey, how's it going?" She's like, "Oh, it's going good, whatever, blah, blah, blah." So we start chatting about anything, whatever. "What do you do?" "Oh, I'm a cab driver." "Oh, really?" Like she really cared, but I guess she did. She's like, "Oh, that's interesting. You must have like exciting stories." I said, "Nope. Driving a taxi is 99.5% boring, and you kind of like it that way. You don't want it too exciting because then that's when you get robbed." So we were talking or whatever, and I don't remember because this was so long ago, but I do remember that something about makeup. She either really liked makeup, or she was a makeup artist, or that's what she did for work, or that's what she used to do for work. I just remember makeup. She did her makeup really nice. So we talked for maybe, I don't know, an hour or two. We played some pool or whatever, and then I got her number. I said, "I'll give you a holler. We'll go out on a date." She's like, "All right, cool." So maybe about a week or two later, we meet at the same bar, and we're hanging out, we're talking, whatever, and we kissed a little bit, and then I said, "What are you doing next week?" And she said, blah, blah, blah. So I said, "All right, we'll go hang out." And then something bothered me. Like, this girl I remember she was very, very nice. Like, very nice, very sweet girl. And it kind of bothered me because I felt that she liked me a lot, and it made me nervous because I didn't know how long I was going to stay in Las Vegas. Each month that I was here was like, am I going to stay in July? Am I going to stay in August? Am I going to stay in September? And I know she really liked me, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I wasn't really trying to get into a relationship. And I remember during the conversation, that's basically what she was alluding to, is that she was open to the idea of a relationship. So I'm getting nervous on the third day because I said, I don't think I should go out with her. I think I should tell her, "Hey, listen, we could be friends. We could be cool. I'd be totally fine with that. I don't want to get really involved with anybody right now because I don't know what the heck I'm doing with my life." So, we would talk on the phone, like every other day or whatever. She would text me a lot, and I was getting nervous. So I said, "Man, I gotta somehow like just tell her I'm not interested in like this, like, it going any further, because I'm just thinking it's turning into a relationship, like, or I could see that happening quickly." So I told my friend, because I would go to him for anything. Like, if you ever had anything in your life, he always gave good advice. Well, most of the time. And so I told my friend, I said, "Hey, listen," I said, "I met this girl in a bar. She's like really nice and all that." I said, "But I think she's like a goody two shoes, and she's a very sweet girl and all that." But I said, I don't want to like get involved and then it crashes out. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to be in Las Vegas long enough for that, for me to be wasting any woman's time. So he says, "I know exactly what to do. Tell her you're gay." And I looked at him and I said, "Dude, that's a freaking great idea. Why didn't I think of that?" And my friend, he could do voices really good. Like, he was a pretty good voice impressionist. Whatever that word is. Impressionist? I don't know. So he says, "All right, this is what we'll do. I'll call her and I'm going to pretend that I'm your boyfriend." And I said, "Sounds like a plan to me." So he calls her and he's like, he does this silly voice. He's like, "Yeah, Lamont's my boyfriend, and I seen this number in his phone, and I seen your picture. What's going on here?" And she's like, "What?" She goes, "Who is this?" And he says, "My name is Michael." That was his fake, like, gay name was Michael for some reason. And he said, "This is Michael, and he's my man, and you know, he shouldn't have been at the bar with you. He probably got drunk, and, you know, he has a home here with me, blah, blah, blah. You need to leave him alone. You need to stop calling him. And she goes, who is this? It wasn't taking effect to her that she was thinking this was a prank. And he goes, no, I'm serious. He's my boyfriend. You know, you need to stop calling him, blah, blah, blah. And then they talked for another 30 seconds, and then he hung up. And they said, dude, I think it worked. And I said, nah, I don't know about that, but. So she immediately starts blowing up my phone. And then she's texting me, Lamont, what's going on? What are you doing? What is this? Why are you playing these games? And I was such a coward. This is how immature I can be at times. Like, I'm such a coward. I can't face her to like tell her, hey, listen, like, because I just didn't want to hurt her feelings. That's really what it was. So I told her, I said, listen, actually I didn't tell her anything because I was scared to pick up the phone. So I just ignored the phone for like the next day or two. I didn't pick up her calls or text her. And then finally she sent me this text. She goes, listen, she said, I don't know what's going on with you. I know you're not gay. I don't know why you're playing these games with me. She said, if you would have just like told me you weren't interested, why don't you just like be a man and tell me? And I said, you know what? I said, you got a point. You got a point. So I called her. I said, hey, listen, girl. I said, at first I told her, no, I really am gay. And she's like, shut up. She goes, I know you're not gay. She goes, what are you doing? She was like, why are you acting like this? And I said, listen, and I told her basically what I told you earlier in the video. I said, listen, I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be in Vegas. I said, you're a really nice girl and all that. I said, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to get involved because I can tell you really like me and it's making me uncomfortable. And I didn't know how to tell you that, you know, that whatever. And then she goes, you know, all you had to do is just tell me I'm a grown woman. I can take rejection. And I said, girl, I ain't rejecting you. It ain't like that. I said, sure, I'll date you. Whatever happens. I said, but I know that you probably want a family because she was telling me that she wanted a family. She wanted the kids and all that. And I said, I don't want any kids. I said, this moved like really fast. You're a very sweet girl. You're very nice. She reminded me of like one of those wives from like a family television show. Like maybe the mom from Small Wonder. You remember, you know, with Vicky the Robot? And I was like, yeah, I was like, I'm like, my time in Vegas ain't long. I don't really like this place. I want to leave. And that was that. She was really pissed off at me. So she's like, yeah, she goes, you shouldn't have done that. She goes, you were acting like a little kid. I'm like, I know. Because I do stupid things like that all the time. So that was it. And then I don't know why, but like every once in a while I would look her up on Facebook and I would just kind of see what she was doing. And I seen that she had got, like later on down the road, she got a boyfriend. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. It's like she found, he looked like a nice guy, nice looking guy. And I said, there you go. I said, that guy, you guys look like you belong together. You guys are both nice looking. You know, I'm a bum. I dress like a bum. I got holes in my clothes, holes in my shoes, holes in my ears, holes in my head, whatever. And I said, that's more your style. That kind of guy, right? That kind of guy. So, you know, every blue moon, I would just look her up. And I remember just as time went on, like she had posted, I want to say she got married. So she ended up marrying this guy. And I'm like, I'm happy for her because she's such a nice girl, you know? So I would check up on her and then she would post like, oh, this, oh, that picture, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then I could see that like she had stopped posting on Facebook. Do you ever like, do you guys ever like, you know, if you got like an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend and yeah, sure, you're over them, you think, but you kind of always like look to see what they're doing. Even if you hate them, you still kind of look. Some people are really good about not having to do that, but I'm not. I'll look. I'm like, what are you doing? And I just remember like no new updates. So I thought to myself, okay, she got a life. She's not on Facebook anymore. She grew up. She grew out of it. And I had always wondered whatever happened to her, because I felt like such a D-bag for doing that. And I've done some things like that before that I'm not proud of. And, I've never done anything like terrible to somebody. Never. But I've done things that I shouldn't have, and that's for sure. I shouldn't have done that. So, you fast forward, I don't know, like 7-8 years. And I'm at this cemetery, and I'm not looking for anybody, anything, and I'm just looking, and I look, and I'm looking, and I stop. And that moment, I could not, even when I think about it, I'm like, I don't know what happened. She was very young. And I don't remember her ever telling me that she had any kind of health problems. And I looked at her face and her name. It was right there on the stone. And I thought to myself, I said, how can somebody so sweet and nice die so young? She was barely 30. Maybe a little older than 30, but not by much. And that's all I kept that's all I kept thinking. I was like, she was so nice. Like, how did she die? She was so nice. And I just, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And every time I come to Vegas, I always come visit her, and I always kiss her like how we kissed on the stone. And I said, I am so sorry that if it would have been me today, you know what I mean? I would have just been like, look, I like you and all that. I said, I want to live in a van. I don't want to rent an apartment. I don't want to, the job thing I've always been fine about working. I love working. I love working the job. Even if it's a hard job, I love it. But I said, I don't want to live in a place. I don't want to see the same sky every day. I've already been in Vegas. Now what? It's 2 weeks tomorrow, and I want to get the hell out of here. And that's what I should have told her. I should have said, look, I gotta go. I gotta go. But I was too much of a coward, and I did that, and I felt so bad that I treated her like that, because she was such a nice girl, and I was just such a punk. Very nice, sweet girl. And as the sun sets, but only one of a few times where Lamont was not a nice person. Lamont was a very big meanie. And I always do feel terrible that I did that. God, I feel so stupid. Even now when I think about it, I feel stupid. I never knew how she died. I had no idea. I can't find anything. So usually when you can't find anything online, it's either like a car accident or they took their own life. And I don't think she did that. I don't know if she died in a car accident, but I don't believe she did that, because she was very bubbly. She had a great personality. I just can't see her doing that, hurting herself, but I didn't really know her that good. So rest in peace, my dear, wherever you are. Just a quick story about my part of my stupid life. All right, guys, I am out of here. Don't, guys, if you see a girl you like and you feel like she likes you too much or whatever, don't get your friend to pretend that you're gay. It's stupid. Just be a man and tell her, look, you know, I'm not into you like that, or you know, whatever it is that you want to tell them. Don't do that. Don't lead a girl on. It's just, you know, because let me tell you something. I've had my heart broken before, and it does not feel good. It just doesn't. I'll see you on the next video. Be good, y'all. Like I'm trying to every day. Peace out.